Hi there, let's talk about the lunar eclipse in Leo happening on January 31st of 2018. I have prepared a short slideshow for you to talk about that eclipse, and then at the end there will of course be a tarot card reading. If this is your first time here, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss readings like this. And also on this channel, I teach you how to read your life like a psychic, so you don't have to depend on me for videos like this. We are going to talk about three things in this video. We're going to talk about how major is this eclipse anyway, this lunar eclipse. How major will it be? And that kind of depends on you and your chart, and we'll talk about that. The second thing we are going to talk about is, since this is a North Node eclipse, this means this is a future-seeking eclipse. And so it takes a little bit of gumption and a little bit of moxie to get on there and ride the bull, so to speak, or ride the dragon's head, or otherwise known as the North Node. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you might do that. And lastly, we'll talk about kind of like the do's and don'ts of eclipse season. So what to do, what not to do. So coming up, see you on the other side with the tarot card reading. Let's talk quickly about the astronomy or the physics of a lunar eclipse. What happens during a lunar eclipse is that the Earth gets between the sun and the moon, and that causes the Earth's shadow to be cast upon the full moon. So normally we would have a full moon where the moon reflects the light of the sun, but in this case the Earth is lining up with the sun and getting in the way and casting a shadow on the moon. And that's why a lunar eclipse is that coppery color. It's because it's caused by the Earth's shadow on the moon. Throughout the thousands of years of astrological tradition, eclipses have not been viewed as favorable events. Take note in this picture how the hood of a cobra looks exactly like the sign for the South Node. That's not exactly comforting. Eclipses are times where the energy is chaotic and disruptive. There's a contrarian or opposite land feeling during eclipses, since in fact everything is sort of opposite. During a solar eclipse, the disk of the moon eclipses out the sun and turns day into night. And during a lunar eclipse, like what we have coming up on the 31st, the shadow of the Earth eclipses the moon or blocks out the light of the moon. There is somewhat of a photo negative effect happening where things are recognizable but somehow not the same or not right. Eclipses are a time of course correction and where the mighty will fall. If you are not on the path to your destiny, a course correction may be needed and it may be jarring. However, if you are on the right path and making progress, then perhaps this eclipse won't be so shocking for you. It is similar to the Tower card, where changes can come seemingly out of nowhere, but they are necessary changes. If your ascendant or midheaven falls in Leo or Aquarius, this could be a powerful eclipse for you. Also, think back to the eclipses we had in 2017 in February and August. How did these impact you? What parts of your life came up at those times? This is a way to gauge the impact of this eclipse for you. Also, think back to the dates on your screen right now when the North Node was in Leo. The North Node was in Leo from October of 98 to April of 2000. From January of 1980 to September of 81, and from June of 61 to September of 1962. With the North Node in Leo, the best things for you to do during this eclipse and this whole eclipse season and through the fall of this year is to creatively self-express, to display leadership, to put yourself out there, to expand your heart space, to do things that you love and not be worried so much about what other people think of you. Just go out there like a child with the innocence of a child in a playful way and show the world who you are. With the South Node in Aquarius, groupthink is out. I think the caution here, or what we don't want to do during this eclipse season, all the way through the fall, is don't fall into the belief or get overly obsessed with political correctness, with what's socially acceptable and what's not, and thinking that if we could only make rules around how we all behave and how we behave in groups and what's acceptable and what's not, that it would somehow be all okay, because what happens is we end up with a bunch of zombie people, kind of like this Apple commercial here, and it kind of illustrates this Leo Aquarius axis vibe here, where we've got an individual smashing the group mind. Okay, now for the tarot card reading. I have got the Tarot Illuminated, I believe it's called, and I'm shuffling just the major cards for the first two spots in this spread about the lunar eclipse in Leo for 2018. So the first question is, what did we let go of in 2017? Since this is a lunar eclipse, so it's happening on the full moon, it's, you know, it has a releasing and letting go aspect to it, although it is a north node eclipse, so it has a future seeking aspect to it as well. But I'm going with what did we let go of in 2017? And so we get the moon. Okay, so I would say this is interesting because I was just talking about the moon. So we let go of our fears, of our habits, of our instinctual ways of doing things, of our subconscious programming, of perhaps legacies from family, family expectations, you know, things like patterns that pass down through families. I was talking about releasing all of that stuff. So it's kind of like a lot of the hidden things, the things that scare us. Like I said, these subconscious programs. That's what we let go of in 2017. So the next question is, where should we aim for 2018? And we get the wheel. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune. So, I mean, first of all, this is a good sign for 2018 that, you know, if you didn't feel so hot about 2017, there's certainly much hope around 2018. And so a lot of times when I get this card, I tell people you can't win if you don't play. So where to aim for 2018 is, you know, stick your neck out and find out for 2018. This card can be associated with Jupiter. So it's, you know, we're talking about expansion here. So you need to expand yourself and your life and your daily routines and who you interact with and what you think you can have or not have in your life in 2018. So this is a good card. I'm glad this came up. So in 2018, we need to expand. We let go of some stuff. Now we need to expand into new territory. The next question is, how is emotional baggage, whether it's ours or from others, dimming our light? Because that's what's happening during this lunar eclipse. The Earth is casting a shadow on the full moon. So it's, like I said, a lot of times all the moon stuff has to do with emotional baggage. It's being dimmed either by yourself or by other people. So how is that emotional baggage dimming our light? So we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so the Queen of Swords talks about having a detached perspective and about being very black and white. And the Queen of Swords can be cold. So you know, we've been talking about this whole Leo thing and this self-expression and creative expression and your heart center and love, because that has to do with Leo. So, you know, the emotional baggage is around being detached, maybe being a little bit controlling, and maybe being a little too black and white with things. So that's how emotional baggage is holding us back. And the next question I have to look, how can we creatively express our heart moving forward? We have the Six of Wands. So this is I just what came to my mind was lust for power. So it's like in this case, lust for power is a good thing. So it's like get out there and get after the stuff that jazzes you up. Get after the stuff that you know is good, that you're good at. And it's okay to stick out. It's okay to appear like you're really good at something, So it's like this is not a time to be shy. It's a time, don't hide your light under a bushel. It's time to get out there and have that creative lust and have that lust after creating something wonderful and being admired and being renowned. And that's hard for a lot of us, but that's how we should move forward with our heart energy and our creative expression. So there you have it. That is a complete discussion of the full moon eclipse in Leo in 2018. And I will see you next time.